Might be a little hard to keep your nose in your books today there at River Valley with all of the excitement of last night. Our conversation with Superintendent Philip Martell brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Mr. Martell, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us here today. How about that last night, huh?
I tell you, it was just another great thing for, the start of the, obviously, with the inception of the school district and that, and just bringing the kids together closer and closer. It was wonderful.
One of the interesting things to me was talking with a couple of the ball players after the game about the blending of the two schools together to come up with this basketball team. And I recall the conversations you and I had last summer about when the two school districts, the two student bodies came together. And I recall you saying to me the easiest part of this all has been the kids getting along together. They seem to be really going the extra mile to make sure that they're a cohesive group of students, all with a single purpose. And I guess last night was really the ultimate manifestation of that, wasn't it?
It sure was. And that's really, I can't say it enough about our students and just how, it's just, they've come together and, and they wouldn't give it back for anything now. I mean, you can ask, and I tell people all the time, even when just don't ask me, ask the students. But the opportunities we're able to provide them now, how they can come together collectively, and you see the fruits of that last night, and just in a lot of ways what we're doing. It's a pretty awesome thing.
We talk about what could be a moment of healing within the district for those who are still struggling with the transition to the River Valley District from the separate Blairsville and Salzburg schools. And athletics is frequently one of those things that can do that sort of thing, that can bring a community together. I know that's your hope, and I know that there are still issues in each of the communities that need to be worked through, and we certainly respect that. But when the kids come together as they do, and they have that one common purpose from both ends of the district, well, that's a good thing.
It is, and that's really, it's been a passion on both sides, as we've discussed before, and that's why, obviously last month the board committed to borrowing and the construction of an athletic complex here at the Blairsville campus, which I think, will just continue to be, give our students the opportunities and the, best facilities to be able to continue to come together, but also continue to get better at what they want to do.
Well, that being the case, let's move on to things other than athletics.
Sure.
But at the same time, being athletics, that athletic complex is going to be something that is new, not only new for the district, but new for the entire community to have a facility such as that. And it will enable the district to do so much more than they're able to do now, won't it?
It sure will. And it really can bring the community together, because it just, I've always been just of the mind that people don't mind paying taxes if they see something for their investment. They see a good educational system. They see good facilities. They see a return on their tax dollar, and I think that's just part of this. I mean, you make a commitment to putting this together, something that the communities can use as well. As whether it be the youth programs or the seniors walking in the evening or anybody. I just think it just brings us a lot of. It'll bring us a lot of fanfare, and I think it'll continue to bring everything together.
Within the hallways at River Valley, as we enter into a new season of the year, as kids will not only be able to be studying within their buildings, but can soon get back outside and enjoy some of the outdoors and that learning environment. I'm sure that as these next few weeks come along and the weather warms up, that things are going to pick up for you and for the entire district as well. Try to beat the winter doldrums and get a new, fresh outlook on life.
There's no question about it. And, it's just coming out of this pandemic, hopefully, knock on wood, until, it's just, I think everybody's got the jitters to get out, get the nice weather and different things. So I think it's going to provide us with an opportunity, in the next season, just moving forward. But yeah, definitely everybody's looking forward to it.
What are some of the things on the agenda for you as a superintendent and for the district as a whole coming up in the next 4 or 6 weeks?
We really have to start looking towards next year, and on a number of different fronts, not only from the, what we're doing academically, with the STEAM Academy and the Early Childhood Learning Academy, which the board approved last month as well. Looking towards budget season. The governor's made a pretty aggressive proposed budget, with a substantial increase in education. At the end of the day, though, we don't know what that's going to look like, once it gets to the legislature. But, tackling those issues, it's really going to be, another new year in a sense next year for some of our new programs and such.
other school districts, of course, that have been established in their current format for quite some time. For them, it might be a little bit more of simply making adjustments to other years' budgets and maybe adding in a new priority or a new program or two. Do you anticipate that being the case at River Valley, or with just your first year under your belts, would there be bigger changes in store in terms of budgeting?
You're really going to see, the model, one of the issues and arguments could be good, bad, but the model that was in place with the two of everything was not a sustainable model financially. Everybody knew that. But you will start to see now being able to, where you're not doing that, but you're reallocating the most important thing, Todd. You're reallocating those resources back into the students by offering new programs and different things. That's where you're going to see, you're going to see the benefit of what we've done from the reconfiguration, the opportunities that they would not have had in the older version of it. And that's where I think it's going to be a year or two process as we continue to evolve, but we'll be doing things that no other school district in this region will be doing.
And beyond the STEAM Academy or STEM Academy, would I be correct in assuming that some of those new course offerings, new programs would still be in those fields, STEM and STEAM?
Correct. But what we're also going to do, and something that's really been missing in public ed, and it's been, a lot of times it's just because the resources aren't available, when you really truly need to look at workforce development or creating that career path opportunity for students, it really needs to be done in an earlier stage. Right now, you can't wait till 8th grade, or 9th grade to say, to go over to the career center or wherever you want to do. So we've made a commitment next year to push a lot of new courses down into the middle school that will get students thinking about those different career paths at an earlier stage, because I'm a believer too that students need to be able to make decisions or make mistakes and say, I don't want to do this. But if you do it at such a late stage, they don't have that opportunity. But starting it early gives them an opportunity to really truly find something or hone in something they want to do, but also they have the ability to make a change if they don't like what that is.
Yeah,
that's something that'll be completely different here.
Starting with younger students, it would seem that they would have a chance then to develop their interests, and actually for some of them at that age, they don't even know what their interests are, and so
they don't.
Giving them this opportunity to survey what's out there might be an interesting experience for them.
Yeah, and I use cybersecurity as an example. We're going to have an aggressive cybersecurity program. We know in our nation today, obviously what's going on the world level, but we know there are over 200,000 cybersecurity jobs that have not yet been created. But cybersecurity is one of the things that students don't know what they don't know. But we have an aggressive plan to tie it. We're creating an EA Sports Gaming Academy and game design, but to tie that with cybersecurity, because they really do go kind of hand in hand. Students, there could be cybersecurity issues with gaming. But if we can introduce both of them and kind of marry them, our plan is to have that. You may attract more kids to go into cybersecurity. They are such well-paying jobs, and businesses and contractors now are looking for candidates, and it's just amazing the type of resources they're going to be willing to put into, help schools like us be able to develop this program.
When we talk about school budget models, in the past, I'm sure that it wasn't as heavily emphasized, but technology budgets become more and more important. And even as we learn through harsh winter weather, the ability to go online and to teach classes in that way is something that is not only being done now, but is being refined to get even better. Technologically, is the school district where it needs to be? Is the technology in place to continue to develop?
We are. That is one thing where we did properly. The COVID dollars, the money that was really come through, were really one or two time uses. It really enabled school districts, if you used them properly, to be able to get to the point where you just described. But the key after that, we feel we're at that point, but it's also maintaining that, Todd. As you know, technology changes quicker, or the threats become more, like when we just discussed cyber, So we have to be able to maintain that. And doing that is properly having a cycle in place for replacement of devices and infrastructure, and budgeting that accordingly, so you're not doing it at the last minute. If you don't have that in place, you can get in trouble real quick, and we have that in place here.
It's interesting to me you say that, because in past years, I recall going into schools doing basketball games, and even from back when I was in school 40-some years ago, we would see signs on the wall about marking up the walls and don't tear your books and things of that nature. Now, when I'm going into school for basketball games, I see signs on the wall about breaking your equipment, making sure that your equipment is okay, repairs and things of that nature. So the kids, even though they have this great new technology to work with, they have the responsibility to take care of it, and it's even more important now than it was with a book maybe 10 or 15 years ago.
No question about it. And we have, we have an insurance policy in place, like for parents that have the opportunity, because there are going to be things that happen. I mean, it's the nature of the game. And all we do is that with that money, we just replenish our parts funds and just kind of keep doing that. And just, this way we can make those quick fixes and different things. And, with us being a Google school and with Chromebooks, it's much easier. A lot of schools, they go with actual PCs and that have other, they do have cyber issues that they have to deal with. But with us, we have a pretty great infrastructure in place.
Well, that's terrific stuff. All right. Well, congratulations to the entire district, to the girls basketball team in particular for the championship last night. And now they move on into the state tournament. I'm going to write to Coach and I'm sure to Tiara and see if we can't get him here in the studio. Sometime soon before the next game on Tuesday. Philip Martell, Superintendent, thanks so much for visiting with us today.
Thank you. Have a good one, Todd.
You too. We'll see you. There's Philip Martell, the River Valley School District.